Hello, everybody. Hi, Rose. Hello, nice to see you here. Stephanie, first timer from Utah. Welcome. Would like to get a sense of who's in the room. My name is Renee. I'm a transformational coach and astrologer, and I work with both personal and business goals. And I love astrology because astrology helps give us some context. Hearing you loud and clear. Thank you, Tom. I'm so happy to know that. Thank you. Almaz, hello. So nice to see you. We're all here for the full moon, right? The full moon. And we're actually meeting while it's aligned. Right, so at about 11:36, while we're meeting, hopefully it'll be timed when we're tuning into our own inner wisdom. We'll be tuning into the fullness of this full moon. So curious, who's been feeling it? Who's been feeling this full moon energy? And this may be some energy that we've been feeling for a while. And I'm going to go into some of the astrology in a little bit. And one of the things about astrology that's so curious and fascinating and informative is it gives us context, right? Like, we all know we move through life and we set our intentions for success. We set our intentions for what we want in our lives. And we know at some level we have to let go. We have to let go to receive. Sometimes we're not sure what we're letting go of. Sometimes we think we're sure of what we're letting go of, right? So the astrology gives us some context, right? But it's, I like to say that astrology, is the map, right, of potentiality, but you are the territory, right? You know what that may mean for you. And so we'll be going into, after we talk about some astrology, we're going to be going into a little bit of a deeper meditation so that we can get clearer, on what it means for us. Violet, been feeling a lot of things lately. Yes. Hello from New York, Violet. I'm in New York as well. Lovely. So nice to see you here. Thank you for joining. This energy is happening in the sign of Aquarius. I happen to have 5 planets in Aquarius, so I'm feeling an awful lot in regards to this full moon. So I don't know if any of you have prominent Aquarius in your charts, and whether that's your sun, your moon, your rising, maybe it's your Mercury. Everybody has this energy in their charts. And, this full moon being in Aquarius is all about our visions for the future. It's all about how we connect into a larger community. It's all about this level of vision that we have for the future, right? This sense of progressive ideas and maybe even clarity. And that's one of the beautiful things about the fullness of the moon in whatever sign it's in, is that it gives us some emotional clarity. Things may be coming up for us. So curious, what's coming up for you? What's coming up for you as you're feeling into what's happening? Because with the fullness in the moon, it's all about reflection and feeling. And as we all know here on Insight Timer, the mindfulness that we can give to what we're feeling provides us with a greater level of awareness. It gives us a greater sense of access to what we're perceiving in our life's experiences. And when we listen to our emotions, and the moon represents our emotions, we get more information. We get a truer sense of what may be happening for us. Rose, this feels so aligned with where I've been. Catalyzing business growth, yes, is front and center. Playful energy has become a theme. I love that, Rose. Yes, totally. And Aquarius is playful. Aquarius has a playful kind of energy, but sometimes Aquarius is also very serious. Sometimes Aquarius energy shows us where we've been stuck in our beliefs, where we may be too stuck in old stories that may not be working for us anymore. So this square that's been happening from Uranus, which has been in Taurus, a square that may be asking us to look at what is not realistic. How is our vision not in alignment with our reality? So there may be a need to break free, a need to break through into something new, into something that will help us move forward into our future and where we can have more freedom in our lives, because the energy, and I'm just going to call it the energy because I don't want to personalize this Aquarius energy because it's in everybody's chart. So it really depends on what part of your chart may be activated right now, what area of your life may be activated right now. And maybe you know, and maybe you don't know. And if you don't know, like let's say where it is in your chart, that's perfectly fine. Because again, you are the territory. You know what's going on at a deeper level. Violet, memories from childhood that I never think about. Seems to be your theme. Yeah, so that's wonderful to be aware of maybe what you're learning, what you're reconnecting, because not only is this full moon happening in Aquarius, but it's really impacting all of the fixed signs. The fixed signs being Aquarius, being Taurus, being Scorpio, and being Leo. And where we have a full moon, it's because the moon is opposite the sun. And the sun happens to be in Leo right now, which may be giving us an extra burst of energy to want to break through with whatever is going on. It's also happening during this retrograde period where Mercury is always ahead. Our minds are always ahead. Mercury is our minds, always one step ahead. Mercury went in to Virgo a while ago. But then as soon as it went into Virgo, it went backwards. And it went backwards into Leo. So Mercury is also at play with this full moon, and this full moon being squared with Uranus. So there's a square that's happening, right? And when we have a square, what happens? It's like friction, because one part of us wants one thing and another part of us wants another thing. And we have to negotiate sometimes what's happening. We have to dig deeper to find potentially a new solution. Rose, space clearing. Woohoo, yes, space clearing inside. And maybe for some people it's space clearing on the outside to organize your life in a way that will allow for greater freedom or greater success, greater potential. And with this Aquarian energy, where are you having, let's say, a greater sense of perspective and greater insight into what's happening? Aquarius has a way of being able to detach from the drama. Not that it doesn't feel the drama, it could feel the drama, but its ability to detach from the drama provides a greater sense of perspective and maybe even some greater clarity. And hopefully each one of you will have greater clarity as we start to talk more about what this might mean for you. So for those of you that are feeling this energy, are you feeling a sense of, let's say, discomfort? I know that I've been feeling a sense of anxiety. I normally don't feel anxiety, but I've been feeling this anxiety happening in my body. And the moon can be related to the body because the moon is connected to our deeper emotional being, the sensory part of our body, those feelings that we may have suppressed. Maybe they're things that we have not wanted to deal with that are bubbling up, or maybe we didn't know how to deal with something. And so some things may be bubbling up for you. So as you reflect on this for yourself, if anyone would like to share, please feel free, but you don't need to share. Because Aquarius is an air sign, and an air sign is so closely connected to our nervous system, and because Uranus, the ruler, the modern ruler of Aquarius, is in Taurus, it's really shaking up like a foundation. It's really shaking up some old beliefs, some old habits, some old patterns that we want to break free from. So understanding what is it that you want to break free from. Hi Lex, Aquarius is my second house where Pluto is now. Yes, super good question. So Pluto is moving backwards. Pluto is in retrograde. So it started to move forward into Aquarius back at the beginning of the year, giving us a glimpse of this expanded view for the future, an expanded view of what we want for ourselves. Back in February, there was a new moon happening in Aquarius. So it may be good to get a handle on what was going on in February. What goals did you have then? And where are you now with that? Because as Pluto is moving back into Capricorn, there was a lot of Capricorn energy that we have all been dealing with for quite some time, back as far as 2008. And Capricorn is authority. There's something for me about Pluto going back into Capricorn that's really about reclaiming our inner authority. We went through experiences where we were overwhelmed by what was happening in life, especially the climax was happening around 2020, where so much was in a sense of upheaval. We started to realize that the world is in disarray. There's a lot of shadow energy in government. There's a lot that was in the dark corners that was starting to be revealed. And we may have been asked, where have we given over our authority to larger authorities? And with Pluto going back into Capricorn, I feel like it's a reclaiming. It's a reclaiming of our inner authority. And for you in your second house, Lex, you know, that inner authority is in around like your finances, what you own, your skill set, what you value. And when it's going to start moving back into Aquarius, which will start to happen towards the end of November, we'll probably start feeling it more around the holidays. This Aquarius energy is about our individuality. It's about our uniqueness. It's about what makes us unique. It's about finding our unique truth, not the truth of what they say, the they, whoever they are, but it's our own inner alignment with our own inner truth, our own sense of value, our own unique way that we communicate who we are and what we want in the world. And also, how do we align? There may be something around doing things by ourselves, needing to prove ourselves, needing to prove who we are, and working really, really hard to do that. And maybe the truth is that there's also something about coming into community, really resting in the support of community, realizing we don't have to do everything alone. Maybe there's new information that's coming in. Maybe there's new insights that we are receiving. Maybe there are new things that we need to learn. And in learning those new things, new ways of positioning ourselves, new ways of communicating who we are, maybe it's learning something that we've always wanted to learn, because Jupiter, the planet of expansion and wisdom and prosperity, is in Gemini right now. Gemini is another air sign, also impacted by many thoughts, a lot of busyness. So you may be feeling really busy in your life. You may be feeling a lot of busy energy happening. So it's so important to ground ourselves, especially at this time, to really acknowledge what's important. What do we really need to move forward? Because there may be a whole variety of ways that we can grow. But choosing that path that will help us streamline who we are and how we set forth out into the world. And there's also this other square too that's happening. There's the square of Uranus, and Uranus is squaring not just this moon in Aquarius, right, which may be creating some anxiety, which may be creating this need to break free, this emotional urge or surge, but it's also squaring Leo, and it's squaring Mercury, and it's squaring our deep desire, our passion for our creative expression. And because it's fixed, there's a lot of fixedness. It's really asking us, what are we ready to let go of? What old stories are we ready to let go of? How can we reframe our experience in this now, like in the moment of now? Because a lot of times we carry stories with us, something that happened a long time ago that may still be lodged in our bodies, that we may be still feeling in our nervous system. These old stories that may be weighing us down. So this Aquarius moon is asking us, how do we free ourselves? How do we free ourselves from these old beliefs? And where do we want to have a breakthrough in our lives too? So this discomfort is also asking us, where do we want to have a breakthrough? Because we need to funnel or channel this energy into a way that we can really make positive changes. Because Uranus could also bring surprise. It could also bring shock. It could also bring things that we didn't expect. And some astrologers believe that when we can, let's say, be more progressive with understanding what needs to change, maybe those other experiences, those experiences of shock, don't have to feel as powerful. But sometimes, shocking experiences happen to us because we're not changing something. So something comes in from left field and it forces us to make a change. So I don't know if any of you are feeling that, but if you are, please let me know, like, yes, feeling this need to break through. Yes, feeling like there's been some weird, surprising things that have happened and I don't know why. What is unearthing at this level? Uranus in Taurus, it's like an unearthing of old habits, an unearthing of old beliefs. So what may be happening for you where you know that it's time for something new? And we don't think, right? We do think. We always think. We think way too much sometimes. But what are we feeling, right? What's coming in at a deeper emotional level? And with Aquarius gives us this, let's say, elevated view of our emotions, this perspective. So if you can almost imagine that you can watch what's happening. And as you watch what's happening, what are you feeling, right? What new information is coming through? That intuitive connection, maybe intuitive downloads that you receive when you move back a little bit, detach just a little bit, just enough to gain a new perspective. Violet, yeah. And I'm just curious, Violet, what is your rising? And if Aquarius is your fourth house or not, I'm just curious about that. But it's really hitting you in a very emotional Pisces rising. Pisces rising, right? So Aquarius is happening in your 12th house. And 12th house is unconscious patterns. And unconscious patterns could be from family, from dynamics. It could also be from past lives. So our past lives that we carry from one life into the next, some of those patterns are stored in the 12th house. It's those deeper unconscious patterns. I'm not someone who cries very easily in front of people either. And I think it's wonderful that you're doing that. The tears are the release of energy. The tears are the ability to be seen. I know for me on a personal level, I've been trying to figure things out on my own for so long. It's just what I do. It's just what I do. Or I don't want to share my emotions. I don't want to, put my emotions on anybody. I've got to hold on to them on some level. And I've been feeling this need to share more of what's so for me, not in a blamey way, not in a complaining way, but to open up emotionally and to just share what's so. And in doing that, it kind of frees the energy. You allow yourself to be seen by others. And when you allow yourself to be seen by others, you're also opening the door to potentially some support, to potentially some collaboration. With Jupiter being in Gemini, Mars is right there too. Mars is like energizing this desire to talk, this desire to share more with other people. And then with the Aquarius moon, it's more of the collective. How do we share more of ourselves so that we're freeing ourselves, almost clearing the energy so that we can be of greater service? Greater service to the collective, greater service to community, greater service to the world. Because we may be healers here, right? Who want to serve the world at a larger level, but we're human and we all have things that we're still working through. We all still have those deeper emotional pockets, right? The baggage that we carry consciously, unconsciously, and to be able to talk about stuff from a healthy perspective to free that energy, or to do practices like meditation, like breath work, or self-care, to know that this is our time. This is our time to free some of that. And because I have 5 planets in Aquarius, I think about, what I don't share from my emotional world, and how Aquarius, let's say as a sign, as an energy, holds collective trauma. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, the ancient ruler. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But the modern ruler of Aquarius is Uranus. And Uranus is the planet of creative inspiration, creative insight, lightning bolts of insight, but it's also shock and surprise. And those things that may have been shocking or surprising at a deep level, that created a level of trauma. Trauma happens. Surprising things happen to us all the time. So I think on some deep level, Aquarius is the sign or the energy for community, for being a part of a collective, but yet there's an alienating quality sometimes that Aquarius energy has, where you feel like you're not a part of the larger conversation, where you feel different, where you feel like no one understands me, like I'm 2 steps ahead, or what I'm sharing people don't really want to hear, right? And we can take that personally. We can be sensitive about it. We don't want to stay. We want to leave. We want to free ourselves. This doesn't feel good. And we all have that somewhere in our chart where we just want to run away. We feel like we don't belong. We feel like no one's understanding us. And maybe those are the places to dig in a little bit deeper, to create a sense of belonging inside of ourselves, to create a sense of acceptance inside of ourselves. And by doing that, we open a key where we can then find those communities that can support who we are, that can help us grow, that we can have a shared vision together. Because it's not about what I do, it's not about what you do, it's about what we do in our own unique ways. And that's one of the big lessons of Aquarius, bringing your individuality, bringing your unique sense of self to the table, right, for a larger reason. Joanne, 3 planets in Pisces. So, and with Pisces energy, you feel so much. My Chiron is in Pisces too. I understand. You feel so much of what's happening. And with Piscean energy too, there needs to be boundaries, right? There needs to be a container so that you can work with it. And, thank you for segueing, Joanne, because another square that's happening, so we were talking about the fixed square, right? The fixed squares between Uranus and Taurus, and this full moon in Aquarius, and then the activity of Leo. It's like the parts of us that feel a little more stuck. But then there's also this mutable square. The mutable square is happening with Saturn in Pisces. And it's squaring Jupiter in Gemini and also Mars in Gemini, right? So there's something about this busyness, this all of these like conversations and new things and new ways that we want to grow and expand. But there's something about what's transpired over these past few years. Where have we maybe dreamed of something, or maybe where have we, let's say, had some escapism, where we haven't wanted to deal with something. We've put it on the back burner. Maybe there's a little bit of illusion or delusion that we may have had around something that we've maybe felt overwhelmed by. And Saturn in Pisces is asking us to put some container around that, to learn those lessons, to learn and understand what are we learning from. What have we been challenged by? And what are we learning because of those challenges? So there's the challenge, there's the lesson, and then inside the lesson, there's the gift. There's the gift, right? So it's almost like to receive the gift, we have to acknowledge the challenge. We have to acknowledge the challenge. To learn the lesson, we then receive the gift. Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius. So even though it's in Pisces now, it's making this square. And there's something that, let's say, transpired, right? So on the one hand, let's look to last February, like where were we, and where are we now? Are we in alignment with our goals? Are we in alignment with our intention that we may have had for ourselves back in February? But there's also a bigger story, because there was the big conjunction that happened back in December of 2020. And this big conjunction was between Jupiter in Aquarius, it was in Aquarius at that time, and Saturn in Aquarius. And they met. And they started a whole new 200-year cycle. So both Jupiter and Saturn, they're not personal planets, but we feel them on a personal level. They help shift society. So there was a societal shift that we were all a part of back in 2020. Something just got started. But maybe there's some things we haven't been dealing with. Right? And now we're actually entering this new square, a readjustment period. Where have we, let's say, not been in alignment with ourselves? What is coming up in our lives that we have to deal with, that we need some container around? What are we learning? And what more can we learn? What else can we learn? What are we hearing? The background of our minds, those whispers from our soul on a deeper level, to give us some clarity around all of this. Inside of acknowledging the challenges we're having, and inside of understanding the lessons that we're learning, and the gifts that we can receive, right? The gifts that we can receive, sometimes it's about the story that we're willing to let go, right? That's that story. Maybe it's those stories that we've held on to. Maybe we've held on to them consciously. Maybe we've held on to them unconsciously. Maybe it's like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Oh wow, I can't believe I did that. Oh, if I only would have done this, then this would have happened. Why did I say that to that person? Right? Those things that we may hold and we judge within ourselves, or maybe we judge in others. There's that too. How do we judge others because of maybe something that we're judging inside of ourselves? This lunar activation can give us greater perspective in regards to what's really going on. With a full moon, it's less about creating an intention. A new moon is creating an intention. But this full moon is about release. This full moon is about review. It's about reflection. It's about celebration. Maybe some of you are actually celebrating accomplishments, and stepping into celebrating those accomplishments, maybe even celebrating where you are now in your process. Because part of the letting go of the old story is about reframing what is happening now. Maybe that old story keeps running in the background because we're not focused on what we're really grateful for. All the things that are actually happening. It's human nature to focus on what's not happening. How do we focus on what is happening? Let's hear it for the celebrations. Those of you that are aware of what you're celebrating now, what is happening now, how have you stepped into new parts of yourself? Let's acknowledge those new parts that you're stepping into. Let's acknowledge the new actions that you've taken. Musumi, I've started my business. Yay, congratulations, congratulations. That's awesome. It's a time to celebrate because when the sky is dark and the moon is full, what happens? We see. It offers a light. It offers a light into the shadow, into the things that it's time to release, to the old stories that have been lingering in the dark. But it also illuminates our way. It illuminates our way by refocusing our attention on where we want to be and receiving the gifts of what is happening. The glass is half empty or the glass is half full. Either way, you want to drink the water. You want to drink the water and receive more water, right? If the glass is half full, that's awesome. Don't let the water sit there. Drink it in, and be ready to receive more water. So to celebrate, to honor where we are now is also a big part of the full moon, of the fullness of what we're feeling, both of what we're ready to release and what we're ready to bring in. So I'd like to offer everyone some insight in regards to their own intuition. And I invite you to close your eyes and focus on your breath. Sinking deeper into the wisdom within you with each inhale and each exhale. Maybe for now, just noticing what you're releasing on the exhale, and notice what you're celebrating on the inhale. You can take nice long breaths. You can even pause. Sometimes when we pause on the inhale, we connect even deeper into our bodies. And when we pause on the exhale, we connect even deeper. And just being with yourself right now in your own inner wisdom. Noticing where you may feel some tension, some area of restriction, where you may feel challenged in your life and where you feel that in your body. Where is life not in alignment with your vision? The reality of life not in alignment with your vision. And again, releasing with the exhale, maybe even honoring your process with the inhale. And as you honor, you may lean in, right? Lean into where you are not in alignment and lean out. Lean in with your body, or maybe just with your thoughts, to the feeling, that charge, that constriction, leaning in and then leaning out. And just notice how you feel as you do that. What parts of you may feel a little easier by acknowledging, leaning in, and then maybe the release or a sense of relaxation or freedom on the leaning out. As you continue to work your breath and work your own process with what you're going through. And what's coming up for you in the light of this full moon as we're sharing this together, sharing this moment together. Acknowledging what needs to change, where you would like to have a breakthrough. What steps are you willing to take to receive, to have this breakthrough? And what old stories, old programs are running in the background, weighing you down, causing some anxiety. And releasing that with your breath. Maybe releasing areas or places that you've been stuck, those old beliefs around something that no longer serves you, to allow the light of a new story to come through. Acknowledging what you're grateful for in the light of this full moon, the fullness of what is happening in your life. And you can continue to release on the exhale, but really inhale the fullness of what's happening as you're releasing on the exhale. Maybe even holding on the inhale to really illuminate what is happening, what you are grateful for. And just being with yourself, creating more room, more space. Maybe what you're letting go of is self-judgment. Maybe what you're letting go of are those thoughts that turn on you, right? Those parts that may turn on you because of fear. Letting go of that fear with more self-compassion, honoring where you've been, knowing this is all part of a longer cycle, a longer story that you get to reframe now, where you get to reimagine your future with a new story that's filled with gratitude for what is happening now. Noticing how you can expand this vision within you to visualize how this new story is already unfolding. Maybe even acknowledging the light of the fullness of this moon all around you and illuminating within you. Maybe feeling the glow of this moon within you with each breath. As you visualize how your life can unfold, how your vision for the future can unfold, and the ways that you want it to unfold. As you shift your perspective, acknowledging what is happening, all the good things that are happening, acknowledging the love that you feel, the love from others. Maybe there's new friends that are coming into your life, maybe reigniting relationships, supportive relationships with others, collaborations that will support you and your vision, healing something that it's time to heal, bringing that light into those places. Noticing how this light can flow through you as you breathe. It's like your breath can bring this light flowing through you as you breathe. And maybe even acknowledging where the light within you and the light around you is one continuous light. And just holding even more space for that with each breath. Receiving more light, more wisdom, more gifts with each breath. And as you think about your future and how it can unfold and all of the good things that are happening in your life, and you're filling yourself up with gratitude, with the love that you have inside, the love that you have in your life for those things that you're acknowledging. How much more can you acknowledge? How much more can you expand? What new ways can you focus your attention into? What new steps can you take? What more can you learn to help you expand? Maybe expanding your light even more as you do. And acknowledging that there are 100 meditators here together, tuning in at an individual level and tuning in at a collective level, and how we're all here with each other under this full moon, and we're all here to hold space for each other's dreams. and our cats and our dogs, all of our furry friends. Thank you, Violet. And while we're still in this space, I'd like us all to acknowledge a collective vision for the world. In our own unique ways, to acknowledge a collective vision for the world. And maybe even imagining that we're all breathing one breath together. How our individual dreams touch the collective in beautiful ways. For those of you that want to stay inside of this meditation, I invite you to do so. For those of you that would like to know more about my work, I have a few courses here on Insight Timer, depending on what you need. One course is Creating a Life You Love. That gives you a way to step into your dream. Another course is Setting a Deep Intention, if you really want to set a deep intention for yourself, but I would wait until the new moon in a couple of weeks for that. If you're looking to do a little deeper healing, the resilience and power of the chakras can be really transforming. And if you need a little extra business support from a brand perspective, I just launched a course called Creating a Soulful Brand. It's just a beginner's course of really creating more of a brand, positive brand, soulful mindset around branding. Thank you so much. I wish you all a beautiful, beautiful full moon. For those of you that feel called to donate, please do. But there's no need to if you're not in a position to do so. I want to thank you all for this beautiful collective space that we've shared together. And take the vision from today and see how you can share it with more people. How you can connect your vision and find shared vision with more community. Thank you, Tom. I'm so honored that you're here. Thank you so much. Always so honored to be a part of this Insight Timer community. So many beautiful souls, so much light, so much support. And thank you all. I wish you lots of love, much joy, many blessings.